Okay, bud. Roy here with Tapio Farms. We're about to start a new run of microgreens, eh? So let me turn around this camera and we can see what we got. Alright, what are we working with? So this time we are doing a flat of green peas, just a bag of peas that I bought from the grocery store. These are the same peas that I started probably 2 weeks ago, and you can see how large they've gotten here. I just put them in this Tupperware container, and I've been watering them every day, every other day. They're very resilient. So yeah, you can see them there. Very large, probably, this one's probably 4 inches tall. It's probably the tallest. This one's maybe 3, and most of them are around 2.5 inches tall. So I have not yet looked at what height you want the peas to be at before you harvest them. But probably going to end up harvesting these pretty soon. But you can see what these guys turn into, just some whole peas from the grocery store. So here's the first tray of peas. I'm going to be taking the bricks and making them long ways this time to see if that works better. Let me take these off for now so that I can show you what I've got here. So I threw a bag of soil, maybe a half a bag of soil, into this bucket. Took a pitcher and filled it up with water over at the utility sink, and then poured some water in here, got it nice and soaking. Mix it around with a garden trowel, and then I ladled in. I tipped the bucket like this over the tray, and then I'm breaking up the soil and then scooping it into the tray and sort of making a line in the middle of the tray. And then once I get enough in the tray, I start sort of sifting it around, spreading it out, evening it out, right? And we don't want it super compacted, but we want it nice and even. We want to split everything up so that the roots have a nice, easy time. And then so I'll just keep doing that, keep sifting soil onto the tray and evening it out until we have something like that. And so I just basically poured out a bunch of peas onto the top of the soil, sprayed them with my little spray bottle there, and now I'm covering them with the top tray. And remember, we have another tray with no holes underneath the tray with holes. And then we've got a tray with no holes again on top of the tray with the holes, the soil, and the peas. Then we want to put the weight on top of there so that the seeds will feel as if they have some soil on them. It'll be nice and dark in there. And before we head upstairs, we will turn the fan and the dehumidifier back on so that no mold grows in there. I'll go over my tools once more that I'm using. I'm using this Green Thumb 2-liter pump sprayer that I got from like True Value or Ace Hardware or whatever hardware store. You can find one probably pretty easily in your locale. Very, very useful. That's what I'm using to water these peas right now. But for the most part, we're going to bottom water the microgreens that are in the trays. So, most of my pods did not sprout anything, but check it out. We've got some onions poking up. So, onion evergreen bunching. We'll have some onions poking up here pretty soon. Those are 1, one pod that did well. I basically just took out all of the soil from those other 90 pods, and we'll be just reusing those. We had a little bit of an issue there because I put the seeds too far down. What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to load up another tray, another 2 trays, maybe 4 actually, with pods, because I think we'll have 4 or 5 trays with holes left. I'm going to load them up with those little pods. I might put something down on the bottom so that we can capture the water. And then we will be starting anew. I'm going to be sprinkling the seeds on top of the pods, on top of the soil, right? And then I'm just going to put something over top of them, so that they can hold their humidity. And excuse me, the seeds will be under darkness. Let me show you my other little thing I got here. So I picked up this tote. I think it's what is it? Incredible brand. I don't know if you can see that. No, not really. But it's a nice big tote, nice big toter. There is all of the soil from our last grow. There's 5 trays there. The first tray, which I'm not counting, was just a bunch of random herb seeds that I found on my counter. We had some dill, some oregano, some parsley, and some sweet basil. And what happened with these guys is they all, here's the packet, Burpee Organics, Culinary Herb Garden. They all got moldy because I didn't have a fan, I didn't have a dehumidifier. So this was before the Johnny Seeds came in, and I didn't have any of the moisture control equipment. And I just wanted to test out, I just wanted to try these new trays that came in with some of those herb seeds. So I threw some soil in a thing, threw all the herb seeds on top, just a mix of all the different seeds, and threw another tray on there. And what happened, after 3 days, it got moldy. Not to mention it was super cold down here. It's much warmer. Well, not that much warmer, but it is getting warmer. Probably under the lights, it's going to be, it's going to end up being like 58, which isn't amazing, but it's better than nothing. So we'll keep that right there on that tray with these peas. Yeah. Why don't we put it on a brick? We'll put that on the brick. That looks nice. Okay, so the humidity is pretty good. Temperature is going up as well here as we're putting it under the light and taking it out of that little shelf back there. Okay, so what else are we going to talk about? I washed all the trays. There's a better way to do it. In the future, I'm going to take this one of these guys. I'm going to fill it up with a solution of xylitol, I think. I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically a food-safe hydrogen peroxide. And I'm just going to spray them down and put them on the rack to dry. Maybe I'll scrub them down every quarter or so, every 3 months. But for now, this is my utility sink. I brought them over here, brought the whole stack, some Dawn dish soap, a washcloth, and I just washed them all down really sudsy and just rinsed the heck out of them. And then I put them over on the shelf to dry for a little bit, or I stacked them there, and then restacked them over here where they've got a little bit more airflow with the shelving. Okay, so after I get some soil in here with this bucket and this trowel, I'm going to even it all out. I'm going to do some more arugula. I might do two trays of arugula this time because I love that stuff. I'm going to do some more broccoli and radish. I'll bring that stuff down here, prep the workstation, and then with the remainder flats with holes, because I didn't order enough flats without holes. We've got some extra flats with holes. We are going to put these pods on them, and I got another stack of 100 pods. We're just going to load them up with soil, throw a ton of seeds on them, drench the shiesty out of the soil, and throw a cover on top of all of them. We'll throw this dehumidifier and this fan on, and we're just going to hope for the best. We're going to pray to God that we get 200 pods just sprouting, because it is the end of April, and we need to get going on those mamma jammas. I don't have much hope for, longer stuff like peppers. There's certain stuff that I just don't think is going to do well outside at this point. I think it's too late. We would have had to start them a long time ago. But things like tomatoes are really forgiving, that's my favorite anyway. So we'll grow a lot of tomatoes. We'll grow a lot of onions. It looks like the onions are nice and hardy and easy, much easier than everything else, and you can bury them kind of deep. So that's the plan. I'm going to try to do this. Anyway, I covered all that stuff. Who cares? Okay, so that's the plan. I'm going to do another 5 flats this time. I've got the 3 over there. 1 already done right there with the peas. I'm going to do this one. I'll do broccoli, radish, and then maybe 2 trays of arugula this time, because I love how the arugula performed last time. So that is about it. All right. Catch you next time.